Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the audio edition, the edition for the multitaskers and the people who want to improve their imaginations. Give some muscle to their imagination because that's the number one tool that you need to help manifest. And because this is all about manifesting and focusing on you, the reading is a little bit different. It is very much directional, aimed at you and guiding you. So I don't really pay a whole lot of attention like other people do in a tarot about other outside influences necessarily or other people. Don't do any of that. Everything in our lives begins with us and then spreads outward. That's the point of this manifesting kind of tarot reading. Audio version because it forces you to have to imagine as opposed to putting pictures in front of your face and saying, here's the picture. No. You listen. You pick up what you can. A lot of the responsibility is up to me, giving you a good narration. But with that narration, you now are able to build pictures inside of your head. That makes for better manifesting. So, we have a bottom row and an upper row. The two center cards in both rows are the most critical. They're directional. And we begin the bottom level with an oracle card called Exchanging Gifts. And you see there two figures exchanging some gifts. Does that mean birthday, Christmas, that kind of thing? Would that be necessarily your traditional interpretation of exchanging gifts? How about this? Being that this is a manifesting reading, how about exchanging gifts with yourself? Okay? Giving and taking, reciprocity with you. Very often with human beings, we are in either a giving or taking mode. And it varies. And in fact, if you really pay attention to people most of the time, it may sound like they're taking, and indeed they are. And the problem is they're failing on the other side. They're not giving back. And I'm saying to themselves, remember, everything begins and ends with you. Giving and taking with yourself. There has to be a generosity of spirit with yourself. And even though, again, if you just listen to people, you go, they're selfish sons of guns. Man, they're just self-centered. No, they're not. I mean, the effect is, yes, but no, they're not. Generally speaking, there's an emptiness. And the concept they have of giving is trying to fill the hole in their soul. And the way our system is set up, it's so superficial. It's buy. If you buy this new thing, it's going to fill that hole. If you have this, it's going to fill that hole. If you have a lot of money, it's going to fill that hole. And you find out it never, ever does. But you keep searching. And because the system is set up in a certain way, you keep looking for that soul fulfillment in the same places. Oh yeah, I know, they may look a little different. They may be presented a little differently, but it's the same kind of situation. Especially over the past few years as we have people, I hear them go, well, we have to change the system, we have to change the system, we have to change the system. They will repeat the system in their lives. Well, we got to change the system, we got to make it all different because it's not good the way it is right now. But, if I can get a job with more money, boom. What you're doing is the definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I know in your mind it's, well, if I get a different job, it's going to make a difference. If I get a different car, it's going to make a difference. If I have this house, it's going to make a difference. But you're feeding the system that is starving you. You have to step out of the box. That's what the idea of exchanging gifts is. Exchanging gifts with yourself. Reciprocity with yourself. Giving and taking. A good, clear activity within yourself. Then you don't have to pay so much attention to the system. Because if you do, what you invariably end up doing is not paying attention to you. You do not have that exchange of gifts. So, bottom row, card to the left, the devil. The devil is feared for sure, and we always, or very often, point at the devil as something outside of us. But it is an inner bondage. It is an inner despair. It's an addiction. It's the weaker side of yourself. It's the fearful side of yourself, which, by the way, the system is designed to feed. And you see the two people, as always, chained to each other. But in this card, they're not chained to the devil. Necessarily, not directly. Yes, I know, on his pedestal. That's their choice, to be chained to something that is hurting them, to something that is taking away their power. And that's the way all of us are in terms of the system. Like I said, people go, well, we got to change the system. But, if I had a different job, nope. That same mentality is what you're carrying with you. It's doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So the end result is the next card, Five of Pentacles. Here you have people who are crippled, damaged in some way, which we all are, walking past a church. Right away would show this picture behind them as being a place of refuge, a church. Lights are on. They could go in if they wanted to, but they choose not to. They're not worthy. And that's what the system does to us. And the devil energy, the devil addiction that we sign on to, voluntarily and involuntarily, has the same effect of the Five of Pentacles. Now, I'm not worthy. Here I have warmth, I have food, I have shelter from this winter, and I'm just going to go past because I don't deserve it. That's not exchanging gifts with yourself. So what you got to do is take the long view, take the long picture, Temperance card. You can't look short term. That's not the answer, because there is an addiction going on here with a system that is killing you. So with Temperance, time is healing. Patience is healing. It's getting that balance over time that creates the healing. So this whole idea of exchanging gifts with yourself is something that you're going to have to learn. And one of the first things that you can do is use the energy of the Ten of Wands, because the Ten of Wands says, I'm done. That's it. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overworked. I'm abused, and I'm contributing to it. I put my burdens down. Okay? Say, that's enough. No more. I've carried these expectations, these wands with me. Society said that you must do this, you must do this, you must look like this, you must feel like this. It's gotten me nowhere. In fact, it's actually slowly killing me. Got to do it a different way. Again, that different way, and it sounds easy, but it's much more difficult, is exchanging gifts with yourself. Reciprocity. Go up to the top. What do we have? Temperance again. Just had it. Bottom row, temperance. Time. That's so very important in all of this, because this is a retraining. This is a relearning, and it's on your terms. What you want to do is heal. And that's just going to take time. But again, it calls for the energy of exchanging gifts. You see, she has some cups. You see, she has some energy around her. You can do this, but you got to love yourself. You have to exchange gifts with yourself. And in fact, Three of Cups, the card right next to it, kind of emphasizes that. Three of Cups for most readers are like, oh, well, there's a third party involved in your relationship, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that may be true, but when it comes to manifesting, I see this very differently. I see it as combining the three aspects of every human being: the mind, body, and spirit. Which, when you stop and think about it, if you can do it, that is kind of exchanging gifts, right? Feeding different parts of you, the mind, body, and spirit. And because it's cups, self-love. So if you are able to give yourself the time and step ahead slowly, consistently, with this idea of giving and receiving inside of yourself, you can walk away from the devil addiction. You can walk to a place where you are safe, secure, warm, and fed. And I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about your soul, your spirit. In fact, the next card up top, Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is getting it, right? Happiness, blessings, contentment. This card is ultimately the exchanging of gifts. If you can truly love, respect, and value yourself, Ten of Cups is within reach. But you're not going to get there until you learn how to exchange gifts with yourself. Reciprocity with yourself. Sounds so unusual, but it's so important, so necessary, and so powerful. If you can do that and you get to the Ten of Cups, next card really clarifies it. Four of Wands, right? 11-11, happy, happy. Right? What you're doing is finding harmony in your life. You're able to celebrate. You have partnership with yourself, the different parts of yourself. But the only way that you can have this combining, this reciprocity, is when you learn how to exchange gifts within yourself. And the final card, vice versa card, up top in the middle, Knight of Pentacles. Knights are always giving gifts, and the Knight of Pentacles, no different. Pentacles are things that we value, things that are important to us, not necessarily to anybody else. And so because of that, the Knight is thorough, is practical, is realistic, hard worker, consistent. Nothing phony about him. But Knights, and most especially Pentacles, move very, very slowly. The idea of temperance, again, comes up. 2 times we get the temperance card in this reading, and then in the end we have the vice versa card that exemplifies patience, temperance. And that is the Knight of Pentacles. Know your self-worth. And the way that you do that, you learn to give and receive within yourself. Because what happens when you learn to be fair with yourself? Wow, you can start to be fair with others. Because it all begins and ends with us. Really good thought as we open up now on a season from now, I think until about May, where all the planets are going forward. There's a lot of positive energy forward. 2023 is the year of doing, accomplishing, getting things done, at least beginning. And the way to begin is to learn how to give and receive with yourself. That's the reading for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. In fact, tomorrow I think I'm going to do the weekend edition, right? Yeah, Tau Trifecta. Take a look at the week ahead, the energies of the week ahead. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Hope you're there with us. If not, between now and the next time you and I have a chance to do tarot together, to manifest tarot together, as always, peace and blessings.